Now, we come on to a roundup of day 3, yesterday's action here at Circuito Internazionale Napoli. As they say in the UK, red sky in morning, shepherd's warning. Henry Baudet will definitely relate to that, won't you, Henry? We've had some good news, we've got some bad news to share with you, but we thought we'd do it in this video here. Let's get on to what happened with all our drivers. So Len Nyes, number 11 Micromax, running on the Praga IPK chassis. Had a good final practice, non-qualifying practice session number 7. Ended up P4, just over 3/10 off of the UAE's Adam Al-Zahari. So that was good for him. Qualifying, different matter altogether, not too happy post-session when I briefly spoke to him. Race helmet on, race suit completely done up, and he just went. But in the race he came alive, really came alive. Great skirmish between the 3 that were battling in front of Len on the final lap. The winner was Macaulay Bishop in the end from Team UK, but Len ended up finishing P7. A lap towards the end, he had 3 drivers battling in front of him, and then all of a sudden he managed to make up from 9th to 7th position at the end. So P13 to P7. Jasper Leiners, some good progress. That's the best way to put it. Non-qualifying practice 7 was P19, and he was 9/10 of a second off of the Netherlands' very own Jaden Thien, as I'm walking across one of the grandstands here, as you can see. So P19 for Jasper. Qualifying didn't go so well to plan. P26, and he was off. He was around about 6.5 off of France's Andy Rattel. But in the qualifying heat number 1, great job from Jasper. Ended up P20, starting from P26 when the checkered flag drops. However, there was a post-race penalty which promoted the Belgian up to 19th. Then we get to the international trophy winner from this year, Tom Heinertz. Last practice session for him, pretty good one. Put him around about sort of mid-pack, about P15, so to speak. So Tom was about 5/10 of a second off of the 2-time Euro Trophy champion from the Netherlands, Mike van Vuust. Tom then went into qualifying practice and then ended up P5, just about 52 hundredths off of Ollie Pilka from Poland. And it was so close that there was actually people that were within 1/1000th of a second of each other. Excuse me, my eyes streaming on the right hand side at the moment, but hey, what can you do when you get up early and you realise that your eye's bloodshot, eh? Qualifying practice, he was then classified as P13 overall, which puts him 0.322 of a second off of Clay Osborne. Clay Osborne from New Zealand, of all people. But then the qualifying heat 1, which both he and Milan Coppens, we'll get on to Milan in just a moment, Milan, he had a fantastic battle all the way to the checkered flag with Clay Osborne, Charlie Wirtz from Austria and Makir from France. So it ended up being a top 4 skirmish for the lead, and with just a lap and a half to go, Tom made the move and got into the lead and made it our first heat win of the grand finals, the 20th running thereof. So well done, Tom. Milan, everything was running good. Everything was running really good. P9 in the first, in his last practice session of the grand finals. He was around about 0.278 of a second off of Marcel Sermach from Poland. Qualifying, he was P17. He was in the faster group, it looks like. And effectively from Clay Osborne to him, there was a gap of 0.488 of a second. Put him P17 in the session, put him P30 over overall classification post-qualifying. However, in the race, everything was going really well. Both him and Tom had made out so many places. Milan had got himself up to 7th by the end of the checkered flag. However, and he started 16th. 5-second front fairing penalty put the 218 on the Praga by IPK chassis all the way down into 14th. So, come back to fight another day, eh, Milan? But then we have a bit of news that we do need to share with you, and it's regarding Ilya Brunciels. I'll go through his results up until the qualifying heat, because this is where I need to explain something to you all. He was P24 in his final practice session, around about nearly 7/10 off of the Czech Republic's Teresa Babikova. Then he went into qualifying practice, P19, and he was about half a second or so off of Ryan Norberg from the Stars and Stripes, the US of A. P44 overall in qualifying. The fastest qualifier was actually a driver that I know of, and a driver that Vroom's Andrea Giustini will know of, Elia Galvani. And Ilian was 0.69, one of a second off. Just waving to Julia Wirtz there. Alex is actually here as well. He's been roped in as a mechanic because Charlie's current mechanic has got a back problem. So, gute Besserung. But then in qualifying Heat 1, this is where I have to break some news, unfortunately. Ilian will not be taking any further participation in the 20th running of the Grand Finals, which is a real shame, because I was so looking forward to it. It was the first person that we posted on our social media as one of the 10 drivers that I've interviewed throughout the week. He's been medically uncleared to race. So 7 days, he can't race the karts. He's got a concussion, a slight head injury. So we are looking forward to having him back and having him support the team. So Ilian, mate, we're racing for you now. Not only the team. Roy Curves, good progress. Again, a bit of a fly in the ointment, so to speak, a bit later on. P20 in final practice, just 0.4 of a second off of Francis Paul Fokema. Qualifying practice, P12 in that session. And he was in the session where Galvanin took pole. He did a 1 minute 0.036, and he was 0.4 of a second off of Galvanin. It put him P25 overall. And in his qualifying heat, great job, really good work. Went up to P5, having started P22. And then there's a twist in the tail here. I spoke with Roy last night. He wasn't very happy about this. He appealed a decision where apparently there was something to do with the yellow flag infringement. As a result, the appeal did not stand. The decision from the stewards stood, and Roy got penalised 10 seconds, demoting him all the way down to 22nd position. So Roy knows that he needs to pull it out of the bag, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very motivated to do so. Then we get to Zander, P11 in final practice. 0.5 of a second off of Jonathan Marcuson from Australia. Odd sessions for qualifying, which Sebastian de Grand was also in. So Zander was P8, 58.925, 0.167 of a second off of the Czech Republic's Petr Bezel, which put him P12 overall in the 72 drivers here this weekend, which now includes the UK's Kai Hunter. Interesting. Had a chat with him, 30th in his first qualifying heat, but I digress. He started in P6, did Zander on his first qualifying heat. Excuse me. Ended up P11 at the end, was running as high as 8th before there was a problem down on the back straight, which is incredibly long and gives you about 0.3 of a second if you get the slipstream. Sebastian also had a bit of a turnaround. They solved the issue that he was having with the power delivery on the Rotax engine. Put him P12 in the session, 59.180. Also in the same session as Marcuson, just about half a second off. Qualifying P26, and that put him nearly 0.6 off of Petr Bezel. It puts him P46 overall. And then I think there must have been a skirmish where he was an unwilling participant. He started in P24, ended P28 at the end with some damage to the left side pod. Then we get on to our two DD2 Masters drivers, Christoph Adams and Carl Klebot. Christoph has been very consistent was very consistent throughout day 3. Final practice, P11, 59.881, just under 0.6 off of Antti Ollikainen from Finland, who's a multi-time Grand Finals participant. Odd session for qualifying, put in P12, 59.844, and he was actually just off of Roberto Pajewski from Austria. Pajewski being the eventual pole setter, the Euro Trophy Open champion, and also this year's Rotax Euro Trophy champion in DD2 Masters. And kept holding station in P11 at the end of the first qualifying heat. With Carl, there's been some progress. The pendulum has swung a bit more in his favour. So he was P18 in the session with about 0.8 off of Antti Ollikainen down in P18. But in P15 in his qualifying, behind Pajewski. He was about half a second off, put in P26 overall. Christoph was P21 overall. And then he had an increase of 1 position from P14 to P13. So that's it for the day 3 roundup here, as we're about to get underway very, very shortly with day number 4. Don't forget to check out the live stream on the official Rotax website. And that's it from me. Stay tuned for more updates.